Hey.
Close your... I can't.
All right, we're good to go.
It's big.
Cool. Start us off.
All right. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome, everyone. We are very glad to see you guys here. We should close that door. I'm going to go close that door. Yeah, you gotta do some flair, right? Yeah. Thank you. All right, so welcome. We are very glad to see those of you who are here in person, and to those who are joining us via the stream, welcome to you as well. I know there are some people who got up very early or are staying up late to be here. We very much appreciate your presence. We have a lot we want to cover today for you guys. We're going to do our best to do it as succinctly as possible. But yeah, so we're going to start with giving you a little outline of what today is going to look like. Our goal for today is to give you all of the information that you need to make an informed decision about whether or not Banner is right for you. You're going to hear about our current project, which is an animated series called Dissonance. All of us who work on it are really passionate about it. We love the characters, we love the story. Really excited to get this thing moving and to bring on more people. You're also going to hear from each one of these lovely people here, myself included. We are the different department heads of Banner, and I'm going to introduce us in just a moment. And they're going to tell you more specifically about what it is that they lead, what it is they're looking for. We might hear a little bit about our process if I'm remembering everything correctly. Yeah, let's meet our current team. So to start off, my name is Melannielewis. I am, hello. It's kind of nice, this is kind of an intimate group here. I'm half of our directing team here at Banner. I'm also the writing lead, and yeah, this is Drew Buckmiller. He's the other half, yeah, go ahead and stand. He's the other half of the directing team. He is our music lead as well, kind of filling the role of producer, I guess. He's also one of the individuals who Banner and Dissonance was his brainchild, and we're going to get to hear more about that later. Next to him we have Natasha. She is our art lead. Yeah. She also takes notes for us at our meetings, which is something I am very grateful for because I never want to do that. And then there at the end we have Ashton. He's our animation lead. That's
art stuff. Yep.
Oh, come on in.
Hi.
Hello. All right, so next up we're going to hear from Drew, and he's going to tell us a little bit about Banner itself, how it came to be, and the goals of our organization.
All right. I thought that I was going to be able to do this like really cool and be like, oh yeah, like this is what we're up, but I'm just like way too excited to be like have any chill with that. What is Banner? Banner is basically what we're trying to do is we're trying to form a media conglomerate that is focused on doing a few things in particular. And those things being that we want to create uplifting, wholesome, like forward-propelling media in whatever form it takes. We're currently working on an animated series, but we want to eventually produce TV, movies, books, video games, comics, what have you. We want to dip our fingers into it. And the reason why this came about is me and a buddy. We were friends, and he is an excellent writer and a storyteller, coder, and a bunch of artists. He has a lot of talents, and basically we had this syndrome where we had these gifts, we had these abilities, these things that we were good at, and we would get like super worked up and like, oh, like there's this sweet movie like Lord of the Rings we talked about for like ages because it's just so good, and we were like, oh, like these things are so cool. We love like media, and like we love like good, epic, well done media, and it would always kind of end in this like, but eventually we'll have to get real jobs, like, and I'm thinking about being a physical therapist or like, whatever kind of thing. And eventually we were just like, nah, screw it, let's do it. Let's try and make this a reality. And so here we are. Here we are trying to make stuff and trying to make it happen. So if you have ever asked yourself, like, oh, I have these talents, what am I supposed to do with them? That you're in the right place. This is the exact type of thing that we are trying to go from here. So that being said, we are a startup. We are a group of very, very passionate and talented individuals, but we are all also very broke. So we did want to be very clear and very upfront with you guys and very transparent. Like, although we do want this to become something that we continue to do for the rest of our lives, as of now, we can't pay you. But that is just the state of affairs as it stands now. We do very much want this to become a thing. We have goals, we have plans, we have things that we want to accomplish, and that is only a temporary circumstance. And if you guys stick with us, that is where we hope that will end up, that we can be very much well taken care of fiscally.
Ready?
Yeah, let's go on to dissonance. Okay, so,
Question.
yes.
Is the music one we talked about before?
What was that?
The music one?
Yes. So, Dissonance is the story that we are working on right now. We have a good amount of it figured out, and we are in the process of developing a lot of the artistic elements that Natasha and Ashton are going to go over later. But just to kind of give you a quick overview of what this story is, it is a action, drama, fantasy in a world that follows 5 young adults and one teenager. Well, one of them is a teenager. Whatever.
One of them's little.
In a post-apocalyptic type-esque world where the entire civilization, a large portion of civilization, has found themselves living in these massive giant fissures. These chasms that go down basically to the mantle of the earth. And if you were to take a cityscape, throw it sideways, that's basically what this setting is. And that's where these people live. The story follows these 5 people as they have these goals for things that they want to accomplish in this world. And the world is in the middle of a conflict. And they find themselves in the middle of 2 very, very strong opposing sides. And the story kind of follows them as how they use their abilities, their agency to act rather than to be acted upon. And rather than choosing one side or the other, because both of them have good and bad, it kind of gets...
Pick up the mic.
Could I pick up the mic?
Yeah.
We're low budget here, guys.
The tape was not cutting it. Is that a little bit better? Hopefully people can hear me now a little bit better. How much of that do I need to repeat? We're not going to repeat any of it. Sorry, guys. But anyways, the story follows these 5 people as they find themselves in the middle of this global conflict. And instead of kind of like bending their ideals or morals, they just kind of choose their own path and kind of bring people with them. Other than that, we are with that.
Just experiencing some small technical difficulties. Continue to talk through.
Okay. So for that's kind of the general thing. One of the things that we've really wanted to focus on with this story is we want to make sure that it's not stale. There's a shocking amount of media out there nowadays that is just like bare bones, not much development, poorly written characters that just do stupid things and for drama's sake, and we're not about that. One of the things that we've tried to make sure that we really do is have very, very deep, compelling character arcs for all of these characters and the world at large, and give a great sense of weight to it. Probably the thing to liken this most to, we've drawn a lot of inspiration from Avatar: The Last Airbender because it's great. And there's some similar tones from Avatar: The Last Airbender. We have a really cool magic system for this world that I personally am very, very excited about, that we will talk about at a later meeting for those who would like to continue with us, where we can go a little bit more in depth about that. Other than that, that's kind of all I have to say about dissonance.
Good, because we just figured it out.
Are we gonna hand this off? Or are we gonna try and tape it to the desk again?
Willie, what do you say?
You could probably just pass it around.
Okay.
That's the easiest way to do it.
I'm sorry, audio people. This is gonna suck.
You're gonna turn the mic off.
I could have done that. I could have, but I didn't.
Okay, here we go. Give it just a moment. We're real professionals.
This is the point in the meeting where I tell some jokes.
There we go. Look at that. Now you get to see the beautiful artwork that
Okay.
worked so
Yeah.
well.
So this is kind of, that's kind of the look of how cityscapes work in this place. Cool. Yeah, I'm good. Oh. Okay, now we're going to have a little bit more on the characters, the 5 main characters, from Melannie here.
My angry girl. It's the best way to talk about Val. Okay, so this is Valkyrie. She is our main character, and she starts out the series as kind of a jerk. In fact, there's no kind of about it. She's out for herself, out to have a good time. And one thing that we are focusing largely on with Dissonance in particular right now is telling a character-driven story. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about each one of their wonderful little character arcs. So for Val, her big journey is to kind of get over being selfish. That's part of it. And also to become a better person. Knox. I have no shame. So Knox is, he starts out as the big idea man. Did you have a question? No. Okay. Yeah, he starts out the series as our big idea man. He's the one who gets everybody together and is like, yeah, let's be a group. Let's go save the world. Glory, honor, fame. You know, he's that guy. He wants really, really hard to be a hero, to be well known throughout the world, and do lots of really good and great things. He will learn that is not his path, and he has to learn to be okay with that, and he does eventually. He's a good guy. What was that?
The brave idiot type?
Yes. Yes.
Try holding the mic a little bit steadier. It's kind of the cord is making this sound.
I apologize to everyone.
You're good.
All right. Next up, we have Erin Parks. She is stoic. Stoic is the first word that I would use to describe her. She keeps to herself a lot. Her problems are hers to solve, and she doesn't need anything from anybody. She needs to learn that having friends is a good thing. And she needs to learn to trust those friends with various things. And obviously, she has a bow. It's great. There's going to be a lot of fight scenes in this, and so everyone has a different style and a different weapon, and yeah, it's great. We have a lot of really talented artists with us right now. 2 of them are at our table here, and I'm not very good at drawing people, so whenever I get to see characters that I love, it gives me great joy. Next up, we have Rix, and the voice actor for Rix is actually here. Hello. Yeah, Rix is very much the mom friend. Like, she tries really hard to take care of everyone and keep the peace. And what else about Rix? I love her dearly.
Mellow character.
She's very mellow. She's very mellow. So the times when she gets really mad, like, you better duck and cover because it ain't gonna be pretty. All right, and last but certainly not least, we have Chip. Now, you remember that we said that we had one teenager in this group? This is him. He is 14 years old at the start of the series, and he starts out just kind of as a yes man for Nox, like, oh my gosh, Nox, you're so great, you're so powerful, I love it when you make a sword, I love it when you do all of these cool things. He's really exuberant and happy, and he kind of, well, this is kind of true for all of our characters, but specifically for Chip, he has some points of view that come from his upbringing and from his tribe. He is in a tribe. I got that right. From his tribe and stuff like that, that he needs to learn to be willing to, like, yes, keep things that are important to him alive, but also be willing to look at new ideas and give them a fresh look. So do we have any brief questions about the characters while we look at pretty pictures that I picked?
Have you got
Yes.
contacts for all these people?
All but Chip. We aren't at a point right now where we are looking for more voice actors, but hopefully somewhere in near-ish future we can start looking for that. We have a script for episode 1, and we hopefully want to very soon get to a point where we can start recording.
Are
And
there storyboards as well, or is that what you need us for?
that's what we need you guys for, but the artists are going to, yeah, they'll go over that just quickly. Is there anything? This was another thing that I was going to mention. So for those of you who, yes, please, chat people, ask away. I will look into the camera.
Arcane Harbinger asks, "What have you got an idea for an overarching villain?"
We do. Oh, we do. And that's one of our villains. I put him up there because his concept art is really fun, and I thought it would be fun to look at. Yes, we do have an overarching villain. He is excellent, and I love him dearly. But is there anything that I should say about? Nah. Keep the mystery going. Stay tuned. Next meeting, maybe. Is there another question?
One more question from
Yes.
Migatello. What is the target audience?
I would say the target audience is kind of probably similar to Avatar, like teens and younger, but be something like, I don't know, somebody who's completely nerdy like I am and who loves animation would like totally sit down and watch, you know?
One of the things that we really want to do, especially with Dissonance, is we want to make it so that it's suitable for younger ages, but that it can, similar to Avatar and like other Disney movies, that it can carry the weight of compelling older, like adult audiences as well.
Decent enough for younger audiences, and compelling enough for adults.
Exactly. So for those who probably could you say that one more time because the exact words flew out of my brain.
Decent enough for younger audiences, but compelling enough for adults.
Yeah, so decent enough for younger audiences, compelling enough for adults. That's the kind of story that we want to tell. For those of you who are interested in joining the writing team, one thing that we are going to do is I'm going to contact me later. We'll get into that a little bit. Actually, I'm going to stop talking about this so that the next person can go. I will. No, it is me. Okay. So allow me to apologize on behalf of my addled brain. I have been working really hard the past several days to help get this meeting going, and so I apologize. All right, so.
Art does that to you.
Yeah, it does. So, our expectations from the writers would be largely, we'll go over expectations for everyone a little bit later, but to just kind of snapshot it, is that we want communication from you guys. So we want to hear from you guys. what I am going to do is, those who want to be involved in the writing team, I'm going to give you a writing prompt and a specific word limit. And the purpose of the word limit is to just like see what you can do when, you know, there are boundaries. Boundaries? Limits. That's the one I was looking for. When there are limits in place, because funnily enough, a lot of creativity happens when limits are in place. And I would be looking for specifically the ability to follow instructions, because eventually what we want to do with our writing team is to be like, okay, here is an outline of an episode that we need. Here are some key elements that need to happen, and go. And then from there, you know, how well you guys take correction and where your strengths are as a writer. So if we have somebody who's like really, really good at just writing really action-packed scenes and communicating the mood, the tone of all of that, then I would probably look for an episode outline that would specifically tailor to those strengths. So on and so forth. So the weekly check-ins with the assignments is something that's going to be pretty much across the board, I believe. We want to hear from you guys, and not just from a point of view of how your projects are doing, but also like, you know, Banner has kind of become an extended family, and I'd like to keep that culture going. It makes me happy. Yeah, next up, I believe we're going to hear from Natasha and Ashton, both of them. Please.
So that can remember the notes.
You guys are welcome to come up here.
You're going to be doing most of the talking, so you can.
That's all right.
I'll
We're going to be.
stand on this side of the TV.
Is he in the camera?
Let's see. I can adjust just a little bit.
Whatever works.
Cool. Yeah, Drew says we're good. Okay. So, just like Melannie mentioned, we're going to be going over expectations for everyone at the end, but I wanted to add our brief word on communication. Especially with the artist team, this is going to be super important. We want to be able to know that we can give you assignments, that you'll be upfront about what you're able to do and what you're not able to do, and that we'll be able to hear back from you each week on what your progress was able to be. Because if you didn't finish an assignment, we don't want you to just disappear because you feel bad. We want to know where we're at each week. We will be following up with you each week so that we know where we're at and we can continue and no one's waiting on anyone else.
So there's no specific deadline for the finishing product?
Because we are a small studio, our biggest priority is getting it done as quickly as we can, but with a good quality. But we also understand that because we're small, that it's going to take a while. Even big studios take a while to make a fully animated feature or a fully animated episode. And so
Hundreds upon hundreds of people working on those.
exactly. And so we're going to be patient with ourselves and we'll learn what we're able to do as we go. This is a work in progress, and each one of you who decides to become a part of this studio will be able to help set that foundation. Hello, hi. Introducing, this is Andrea. She's voicing Valkyrie, who's right here on this page. Yeah, this is Ashton drew this picture of Valkyrie just this week, and it's epic. Yeah. So yeah, speaking of Ashton, he's going to be going over some of the details of the animation half of the art department.
Yes. Yep. So with animation, it takes time and it takes effort. It's a lot of work, and so expected skills. This obviously it is, and we've talked about it, action-packed show, but also comedy. It's going to be funny. So the two of the biggest expectations coming from the animation, since it will be fully animated, is first off, your characters and their emotions. Things need to be very lively. They need to be fun. We all love our favorite animated shows and series and movies is because they can make these drawings come to life. They can move. So when working over on my part of it, we're going to be doing, especially in this phase, We're going to be going over a lot of key frame animation, a lot of in-betweening, stuff like that, working on character expressions. I know starting off, I want to work with everybody on like walks, like character walking, movement, and then obviously the other one too. This is action-packed, so fight choreography. You have to get very familiarize yourself with different types of shows and the way they do things. We'll also be pulling, for example, with fight choreography, it'll be a lot of, there's different like Japanese animation that do things very well. There we go, thank you. And yeah, so it'll be a lot of, because that's where, you know, can you make things move? And starting out, when we're just we're going to be testing your skills, what you can do there. I will be looking at what you can do. I mean, I'm not a flawless animator, but we're going to be going over things such as 12 principles of animation. Can you make a bouncing ball? Can you make it move? Maybe even like, can you turn a flour sack into a moving thing? Just fun, short animations, quick things, and then taking the modeled characters and can you make them move? Can you do fun and interesting ways with them? So
are you going to be testing them on the spot like that, or is it going to be more of a portfolio review?
it'll be more, yeah, kind of like a portfolio review. We'll be giving out kind of an like at the beginning, I'll just be running through. It's nothing too pressured or crazy or anything like that. Literally just, hey, these are examples of, and give you a certain amount of time and see what you can do in that amount of time. Yeah.
Yeah, going off of that, we have already asked each artist that I've been corresponding with in the emails to send in portfolios, and that's so we know where you're at. I'm gonna be leading the other half of the art department, so everything that has less to do with making the things move and more the cleanup animation, concept art. We're gonna be working together on storyboards, also prop designs and other concept designs, background artists, we're going to need those. And so there's a lot of variety of skills that we're going to need within our art department. And we also know that each of you, well, I'll go over that later, but yeah, for expected skills, basically any skills you have are skills we'll be able to use. And as we move forward, we'll be evaluating that and seeing how you can best help us. Because we're a small studio, all of us are gonna be wearing multiple hats. Some of you might be more focused on storyboard, but might later help with animation or cleanup. Some of you might be doing environment designs, but we might also bring you in to do props. One thing that is important is we will require each of you to have some sort of digital drawing tablet and digital drawing program, because we will be working digitally. We have several people streaming in from all over the globe, and so we're going to be corresponding digitally. It's the digital age, and we can do that now, which I think is super cool. But if you don't have a drawing tablet or a drawing program, talk to me. I can recommend some really cost-effective options. I know that there's a drawing tablet that's like $70 that comes with a drawing program, and that's where I started. So I can recommend drawing tools if you need. We know that each of you are at varying levels of skill. Some of you went to university and studied and graduated with an art degree, and you're already at a professional level. And some of you are just starting out and haven't tried drawing digitally before, and that's okay. We want each one of you, and if you decide that you're not skilled enough, that's your decision, but we think that each one of you has the potential to bring in the skills that we need. Now, that being said, we do want to make sure that each artist is at the level we need before we get started. So some of you within a week, we'll discuss that. Some of you within a week will already be doing the assignments and getting started because you already have the skills we need. And some of you will lead you forward a little further, giving you assignments like figure drawing and things that can get your skills to the level we need. But we're willing to have each one of you that wants to share your skills with us, and we want to make that clear. So what we're going to do is, well, actually, I think we were going to discuss that with everyone because we're all going to be doing that at the meeting in a week.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so Austin's going to talk briefly about how our departments will be working together in the weekly meetings, and then I'll talk about where we are now.
Yep. Yeah. So just together. We're about to put my foot. Since we're two separate departments, I mean, kind of in the same department thing. Anyway, sorry, I'm really bad at talking. So animation side with them, so like it'll be a lot of on my side. If you're an artist, for example, who is very loose with their drawings, very sketchy. It's a nightmare. I love artists like Glenn Keane and people who just like your lines are all over the page, but you're making things move. You're making it's good movement. It's okay to be loose and make things move. And then with the weekly meetings, we'll be keeping in touch, sending each other art all the time, no matter what time it is. To just send it to each other. Be like, this is what I'm working on. There's no such thing as perfect art, and so every artist is going to have bad drawings. Just as long as you keep, it's that thing that they talked about earlier. Is communication is like key with this. Is that you have to be in contact with each other, just letting each other know how you're doing, and we'll be, for example, with the animation side of things, we'll be working on movement and getting things going, and then we'll have the other department where they'll get the crisp lines in there and make it look good, coloring, all that on that side of things. And that's where we'll have the meetings together weekly, bi-weekly, whenever we can meet. We understand everyone has lives, and so things may happen, but as long as we keep that communication with the different departments and what they do, it'll be good. Yep.
So where we are right now is we're in the concept and story phase. We've had a few storyboards go through, but we're going to be redoing some storyboards in the near future. Right now, I'm working on character turnarounds, and so artists that are more adept at creating clean line art, at getting characters on model. Some of you are comic artists. That's the department we'll need you in, and I'll be testing each artist to make sure you can draw characters on model, and they'll be helping me primarily with cleanup. And then beyond those who are going to be practicing drawing the characters, we'll have some of you making some background concepts, some environment designs and prop designs and such, designing the locations where the people will be, the houses and such. So that's where we are right now, is concept, and then we'll be moving on to storyboarding really soon once we start getting some recordings with our awesome voice actors. Now we'll have a word from Mr. Banner himself. Yes, it is your turn. Yep, we can sit.
Okay. So I'm not even sure if there's too many of the musician composer people that made it out to this. So I'll just be brief. Oh, okay. Perfect. So basically, what we're just very brief. We're going to be keeping the music team pretty small. One of the things that we are going to make sure that we want to have is people who are familiar with recording equipment and digital audio workstations, and are able to compose to mood. That is probably going to be the biggest thing in this production. The music is pretty integral to how the story functions and how the world functions. And we can go into a little bit more detail at the later meeting for that. And so something that we are going to be very much looking at is if you can compose to mood. Other than that, I mean that's pretty much it. Is if you're able to, because we had a lot of artists or like a lot of musicians contact us that are really good at playing the guitar and stuff like that. One of the things that we definitely appreciate that. And we will definitely keep you in contact because we will need your help eventually. But something that we're looking for initially right now is somebody who is a little bit more able to compose at large and understands complex musical theory. And so for that, if you are a musician, please email me, and then we're gonna go from there. I'm gonna have you kind of run through some things very, very briefly and see what y'all can do. So my email, if it's showing up on the stream, perfect. Yeah, okay, you got it. Other than that, what's next? What are we doing?
We're going to recap last year.
Okay, perfect. All right, Melanie's got the floor.
Alrighty. So, to recap, we need passionate people who want to be involved with something that is going to be grand. We need people who are excellent writers. We need people who are willing to clean the bathrooms and, direct a board meeting. We need people who are willing to do anything that is needed at this point. I think, all right. we are going to come back from here. So what do we want from you? Unfortunately, we can't pay you guys. This isn't a full-time job, but the dream is to get there one day, hopefully one day soon. The whole idea of what our expectations would be is that you would be your boss. There would be an individualized approach for each one of you guys. So we call ourselves the heads of state, by the way. Each one of you would fall into a different category and have a different leader in that role. For instance, the writers. What I would want is to have we use Discord to communicate. I would like message you guys and be like, hey, how's that script going? And we would have a communication like that. One thing that we really want to do is, again, with an individualized approach, you guys would decide what best approach would work for you. For instance, I have a couple of projects going on that I work on, and I give myself little deadlines like I want to get the editing for episode 3 done by this day, and I work towards that goal. I know Natasha, for instance, the way that she works is she sets aside a day a week that this is going to be my banner day, and I'm going to draw banner stuff, and I'm going to work on that on this day. Really whatever works for you, so long as you communicate what it is that you are willing, the time that you are willing to give to us, to whichever head of state you're under. That being said, we do understand that this isn't anybody's first priority. This can't be. Life goes on. I work a retail job that I don't love. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. We have lives. We need to make money. We need to take care of our families, and there are things that do need to come first. And we understand that. And like Natasha said, if something happens, if life gets in the way, and it's like, listen, I really tried to do this, but I had a final, I had a paper due, my mom got sick and needed help. These things happen, and we understand that. And we will be understanding of those situations and be like, okay, that's fine. How about next week? We're going to move forward. Progress is progress wherever we can get it. And coming back to this communication thing, this has been our biggest hurdle so far in trying to get things done, has been the communication. Having consistent communication is something that we really need in order to make our dreams come true, because this is our dream. This is our passion, and this is what we eventually want to be able to do for a living. I can't tell you how many times I've sketched what I hope the banner office will look like one day. And it's been great. All right. So what's next? All right. Take a week or two. Actually, I think we decided on a week, didn't we? Yeah, so take a week. We want to hear back from you in a week as to whether or not this is right for you. Talk to your family, talk to the important people in your life, pray if that's your thing, really consider it. And if it's not, that's okay. We'll part ways friends, But if it is, and I dearly hope it is, we can do something amazing together. The kind of creative energy that is in a room when we are working on this is astounding. And we really want to bring you guys on board. And if this is right for you, then please email or reach out to the appropriate member of the Heads of State, and we will give you your next step then. Do we have any questions for any of these individuals? Yeah. Questions, comments, deep philosophical thoughts are also welcome. If you have questions for a specific member of our Heads of State, please don't hesitate to ask. Yes?
Oh, it's a Buckmiller.
Here we go. Look at all of that. There they are.
Could you open the email slide?
So, our tech man is doing a lot of different things. So, yes, if you would like to take a picture, please do.
Save individual slides from the PowerPoint and
Oh my goodness.
this entire time.
Ladies and gentlemen, Willie Buechele.
Applause for
round of applause for our tech man over there. Thank you. Does anybody up here have anything else they wanted to add?
We got some questions coming in from chat.
All right.
I guess
Lily's getting that ready, Drew.
yeah, I'll go ahead and start taking this out. So Fast McLean's, we do if you,
Read the question, please.
oh, sorry, yeah. Can we contact everyone through Discord? Email is a little tricky sometimes. So we actually do, for our organization, I guess you could say, we do have a Discord server that we use. And that's kind of like, it's actually our main form of communication. What?
When you're done.
Okay. Yeah, so that's something that if you, as far as initially, we probably won't bring you right into, or actually, yeah, we had, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, I'm the one that set up the Discord and has been emailing all of you. The communication queen,
Ladies and gentlemen.
also known as the resident extrovert. The one who doesn't mind talking to people. Okay, so as far as our Discord is, as Melannie mentioned, if you decide that you want to be a part of this and you're really excited about it, contact us within a week. Our emails will be displayed on the stream soon. They're displayed up here. Willie's just working on getting that slide. Contact us and we will next week be meeting with each one of you, artists and animators. With Ashton and I think I'll mostly run the Discord joining, writers with Melannie, and musicians and others with Drew. And during that meeting, one of the things we'll be doing is getting you in onto the Discord. We'll give you a role called New Recruits, where you'll be able to access the general dissonance channel and then the New Recruits channel. And that's where the testing phase will come in, where Melannie will give you prompts and test your writing abilities and review your portfolios. I'll test your ability to draw backgrounds and environments, your understanding of color theory, or maybe character designs, how well you're able to draw the character on model. Austin will be testing your animation skills. And then once we see that you have not only the skills that we need, but also that you're able to communicate with us, follow up, complete assignments, then you'll be moved on to the dissonance role, which is basically you're in and you're helping us with full production. So that's the Discord situation.
Can you sense this theme here? We really feel like communication is important. Yay. Any other questions? Or
There's actually a lot of them. I'm gonna steal the microphone because I love
Drew,
talking.
Willie, are you ready to start reading questions?
I mean, I
think Willie's gone.
can read.
Start doing some questions whenever you're ready.
We're good.
All right.
Do you want me to read them into the microphones and stuff? Okay,
I'm going to read them off.
cool.
I'm going to start with Camellia 1. Will it be possibly working in 2 departments? Also, real quick, if someone posts a question before Camellia 1, just repost it because I'm going to start there and just work my way down.
So is the question like if you want to work as a writer and as an artist, like working in a couple of departments? Yes. Okay, that's totally possible. Yeah, we would love that. Again, the wearing a lot of different hats. We like multi-talented people.
Whatever you can handle, because we do want to we do want you guys to produce some good work, and if you're we've had especially Natasha has had an issue with spreading herself too thin. So
I'm better at it.
so the one of the big things is that we yeah, so we want to make sure, like, if you're starting to feel like you got a little bit too much, just back off. That's fine. We'll kind of scale it down for you, and we'll work with you on that.
Kind of going off what Drew said, a big deal with that, I think, is the weekly communication. We have a theme. That whole idea that you are accountable to yourself, and so however much or however little that you think that you can handle, let's go for it. We're at a phase where we have often had people been like, yeah, I can totally do that, and then have dropped off of the face of the earth on occasion, and that's been hard because we care about the people, and also, we do want to get this rolling. So yeah, please be honest with us. That kind of, yeah, next question.
Faust McLean's asks, can we contact everyone through Discord? Email's a little tricky sometimes. And I can probably answer that, and the answer is yes.
We already did. Email initially. Next week we'll get all the Discord stuff set up.
Yeah.
Oh, and one thing that I will say is that if we don't receive an email from you within the week, I think that we're just going to assume that you've thought about it and said a polite no. So, yeah. Communication, ladies and gentlemen. Next question.
All right. Migatello asks, what type of character backstory will the characters have?
All of the backstory ever. So that's something that we've had a lot of fun talking about, is character backstory. And to a certain extent, we are still developing that. But for our 5 main characters, we have I looked up there as if they were going to be up there, and they weren't. For our 5 main characters, we have backstories pretty much worked out, I think. But again, backstories and stuff is something that for the writers, we will be going over next week. We have a lot of fun stuff. Lots of tragedy and death,
But also some really good things.
also some happy things. Some of our characters got good childhoods. So yeah, Val's was mostly good. Rick's got better. It got better.
Hit it, Willie.
All right. Why do the characters have their personalities? Also from Migatello.
Say that one more time, because
Why do the characters have their personalities? Or what makes their personalities be what they are?
I have a single statement that is how I live my life, and it is true of all 5 of these characters. What you do depends on how you feel about what you know. Those 3 things define you in a lot of ways, and depending on what you know, you'll act differently. So each one of them has a trickle of thought that follows that similar thing. Yeah, they all have very specific reasons for why they are the way they are. And again, for the writers, we will be talking about that next week. Yeah, and they're different mindsets.
All right. And
yeah, that's exactly it. We don't want to, yeah. So we're going to let you in on a lot of the secrets once you commit. Once we all.
You do actually have a plan.
Exactly. Yeah, we have lots of plans, and we are going to let you guys all in on that at some point, but we just want to know who's with us and who's against us. We need to be certain of our friends. But yeah, this is another thing that just popped into my head that I felt like was worth sharing. One thing that we have been doing more recently with the plot is having a lot more open communication between the writing department and the art department. Something that one of our members mentioned once a while back was that, for instance, in Pixar, their story department was the fusion of their writers and their artists. It was both together. That was their story department. And, having more meetings together on a creative basis has led us to a lot more interesting stuff. So, yes, our artists are all going to be let in on the intricacies of the story as well. Yeah.
All right. And the last question for Migatello is, will it be sort of dark, referring to the story?
It'll be a nice mix. My favorite kind of story is the comedy.
Oh, 1 sec. Sorry, my mic was muted. The question was, will it be sort of dark, just for the stream?
Okay. It's going to be a bit of both. My favorite kind of story is a drama disguised as a comedy. So something that makes you laugh, and then by the end of it, it's you're thinking really deeply, and are like, oh, I don't know how I feel about that. So I think that we want to have a good balance, because again, we want it to be mostly geared towards, younger teenagers and kids. They like lively and fun things, but then also having an undercurrent of important, morals and stuff like that.
All right. Okay, next question is from Cerulin. Erin in Irish means green water. Do the names represent characteristics?
Some do, but we didn't know about that.
I think there might be room on the writing team.
I mean, I feel like that was I feel like the name is oddly, oddly appropriate for Aaron.
We're gonna claim we're gonna claim Bob Ross on that. That's a happy little accident.
I imagine a name like Valkyrie, for example, was probably a bit more thought of than for Valkyrie, for example.
Oh, for sure. Valkyrie's name is very well thought out.
That's probably what they might have been asking. Or is that something else?
There's a few.
Like the hammer, for instance, that wasn't that was totally an accident.
It's kind of hard to hear you guys.
Oh, right.
If you guys do have any questions, feel free to ask as well. So, but if not, I'll continue right now with these.
Oh, junk.
There's a baby in the room. For
We have a baby alert. Baby alert. Oh, bring him in. Bring him in. Oh, further. Keep it coming. Hey, there we go.
This is... No, keep going.
No, it's good. It's just a little delayed. There we go. All right.
Valkyrie, ladies and gentlemen.
That's Valkyrie. Next question.
Okay, next question is from Nyan Cafe. Preferred software for art and animation.
I have no idea.
Now, my personal favorite and the industry standard among big giant studios, and we are a non-big giant studio, is Clip Studio Paint. It's a one-time purchase, not a subscription like Photoshop. Don't get me started on Photoshop.
This is for the
Photoshop on the cloud.
art and animation.
For animation, we're still discussing that, but there are many. You can do animation on a Clip Studio EX, which is a little more expensive, but the basic version of Clip Studio does most things, and it's $50 most of the time. It goes on sale like twice a year for $25, and it's a one-time purchase, and it does like everything. Now, any art program that can open PSDs is fine, because we'll be sending things mostly through PSDs, but if you want my personal recommendation, it's Clip Studio.
Did Austin have anything to add there? Austin?
I was gonna say, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be doing a lot of.
Hold on, wait till you have the mic.
Give me the mic. There we go. I'm going to be doing a lot of the stuff I do just because I have access at school. I'm going to be doing a lot of things on Toon Boom. So if you do have that and you've used it before, that also that works great too.
They have Harmony at the schools.
Harmony. It's Toon Boom Harmony. But yeah, that's the one that I'm going to be doing a lot of the animating, especially the keyframing and stuff. But I mean, Toon Boom works good to give it to whatever program you need to. So
Yeah. We have some discussion to do on exactly how we're going to work through that pipeline, but you'll help us learn that. But
also,
yeah.
I was going to say for the drawing aspect too, I use it. If you have if your tablet is like an iPad or something, Apple, or I know they do it for others too. Procreate is awesome, by the way, too. That one's a really, really good one.
And then also, this is not something that we have really mentioned. This is going to be a pseudo-animated series. Where are we going to?
We decided on fully.
I'm behind the times. All right, never mind. I don't know.
Drew is living in the past.
For a long time, it was going to be a pseudo-animated thing, and then we were like, well, you know what? If we're going to jump in, we might as well do it all the way. So, yes.
We talked about the recommended software for... You talked about the recommended software for art and animation. What is the recommended software for the music and composing?
Gato, if we're asking that. Yes. So the software that I use is horrible. That's the long and short of it. The only reason why I still use it is because I'm very, very familiar with it, and I know exactly how to get what I want out of it. I think I actually did see somebody in here ask what program I use. It's a program called Mixcraft. Don't get it. So if we do have people who are using Logic or even FL Studio or Ableton. That would probably be the preferred way to go. We'll probably, for those who are going to try and work with me, we'll probably be dealing mostly with recordings and MIDI, which is basically everything that goes into a digital audio workstation. But that's how we're going to work.
And he is speaking a language that I do not.
Music. Does that answer your question?
So basically anything that allows you to make MIDI files and I guess MP3s, I suppose.
Yeah, basically waves. Oh, yeah. So basically anything where we can transmit MIDI files and MP3 or WAV files.
What about for art programs? So what about for art programs?
For art programs, we did just discuss that, but anything that can transfer PSD files.
All right, Drew asked me if I could adjust the camera so we could see Austin, which I already did. But I did it without actually noticing that, so props to me for that. Next question, let's see. Megatello also asked about the program, so that was answered just now. Let's see. Faust McLean's asked, will we have to be signing NDAs?
I believe so, yeah. When I came on, we signed NDAs as well. So it's been a while since we've put those out, though. Am I right, though? Confirm.
Yeah, we'll probably work something out with that. We haven't
I've been here for a year.
quite
and I still
decided.
haven't-
Who would prefer if
What?
you didn't
Oh, no,
steal our
oh.
stuff, basically?
Yeah,
So
so
legally speaking, I can just walk away from here.
so as we are trying to expand with this move, that is probably something that we will try to implement. To what level? I mean, it probably won't be like the Disney sign of death, where it's like you can't work on anything else or you die instantly.
We need your soul.
Yeah.
Like you can't steal the story or go telling it to everyone. We want to, because we don't have the kind of funds to protect our story. We need your help with that.
Yeah.
Don't be a jerk.
I feel like that's a general rule that like most people should follow, but like some people don't. I'm gonna stop talking now.
Hit it, Will.
All right, so just Cerulean.
Third, fourth tries to charm. Fifth tries to charm.
Mentions that Aaron is Irish for Ireland as well. Just a note there.
Well,
Will's paying.
she has a British accent.
Okay,
So that one
Arcane.
was incorrect.
Arcane Harbinger asks, how many episodes to a season?
Ooh, yeah, I think we came to about 12 to 15
Yeah,
per
I think
season.
that was where the.
And we have roughly 4 seasons planned. Well, yeah, we have 4 seasons planned.
Obviously, we're completely married to the exact number of 12 to 15. So.
Very.
Yes, we do have. We have an end point. We know how this is going to end, and it's glorious.
And we have an arc for. Yeah, we do have quite a bit planned out, actually. The full arc and several of the season arcs. I think season 2 and 3 are a little more fuzzy, but our season 1, we've got a pretty solid arc, and season 4, we know where we're ending. So we've got quite a bit planned of a story, actually.
It's quite exciting. I am quite fond of our little story of dissonance.
All right. Along the same lines of that question from Hegia, how many minutes would each episode be?
So roughly 20. 20 is about where we want to sit pretty on 20 minutes. One thing that I really like about Avatar: The Last Airbender in particular is that their episodes are 20 minutes each, but they do an excellent job of tricking you into believing it was 40 minutes. So, like, their episodes are action-packed. A lot happens in that 20 minutes, and I think that that's the kind of thing that we want to continue with Dissonance, is to have as much, not as much as possible happen in 20 minutes, but, like, have a really quality 20-minute episode.
Okay. Camellia1 asks what the FPS will be.
What do you think on FPS, Austin? 24?
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously what we're shooting for. Yeah, industry standard, that's what we're shooting for. Obviously, in the beginning, it's going to be very rough work as we're getting things done. But yeah, we're shooting for 24.
The artists. ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, unless you want to go 60. No. Only done by very few people in the world.
AAA video games.
Yeah.
We're not there yet. We're not at the video game stage yet.
Does anyone have Glen?
That will be my thing one day when I get there.
Willie is the one who is going to be involved with the video games one day. Yeah, he has his own little passion project that he's working on with that, I think.
All right. Next question. Sayrulin asks, does sound design and Foley fall into the music category?
Yes. Next question. No, yeah. So that is going to be something that I'm actually very, very passionate about that.
Me, the cartoonist, asks, or Distance is the main project, but do you already have other projects in mind?
Yes.
We're standing for this one. Ooh, okay.
I guess we're standing.
All of us are standing for this one. So.
Rise up.
I didn't mean to make you all stand. I feel bad now. Okay. So yeah, Dissonance is the first project that we're going to try and get out of here. But we have, just to kind of give you like a bit of a teaser for where Banner is kind of headed, we have a few projects, well, we have quite a few projects in mind that will kind of follow this.
It's a very large back burner.
Very large. And one of the things that we're going to, and this is like one of the things that I'm most passionate about for the goals of Banner at large, is we are going to have our projects interlace in not so obvious ways at times. So, for example, in one of our projects, there is a character that has like a very certain like way of being. He has like this like very like warrior mentality that's like, oh, like I've died and I'm in Valhalla and I need to die in battle, or something like this interesting mentality. And it is in another production that we meet the people that he's from, and we find out why he has that mentality. And so it's kind of like the Disney thing where they have like kind of some the Pixar theory stuff, but it's going to be not quite as obvious, but like it's going to add to character and world depth. So yes, we do have other projects. That's the very long answer for that.
It's gonna be dope.
Plot twist, Incus is not alone. Incus is the world that Dissonance takes place in. Cool. Now you all know.
All right. Next question from Sonder Comics. Will there be any new characters to design?
Yes. Yes. We have lots of, okay, hand this over. So here's the thing, that a lot of the characters from the main characters we have designed. A lot of side characters, specifically side characters who come in season 2, who I adore greatly, and season 3. Those people still need to be designed. There is a lot of work that needs to be done on that. And yeah, I think correct me if I'm wrong, there might be some people in episode 1 who still need to be designed. Yeah, Natasha will do a thing.
Yes, we do have a few in episode 1 that will need to be designed. Now, that being said, on the subject of working on other stories or designing future characters, we are going to be primarily focusing on episode 1 until we can get that finished. So we know you're excited to design new characters, but we need you here on episode 1 as well. That being said, the longer you're here, the more exciting things you'll be able to do.
We are ready for another question.
All right, let's see. Faust McLean's asked, how would you like backgrounds to be done, lineless or line art?
Lineless. If you've ever paid attention during a Ghibli film or Avatar: The Last Airbender or a lot of 2D animated films, the backgrounds are in a more painterly style. That being said, we don't have a set style that we need for backgrounds, so we'll allow you to experiment until we find a style that works for us. But lineless is going to be probably what we prefer. But that being said, it doesn't have to be like a super fancy painting. It can be more shape designs. I know I like shape designs. But yeah, so to sum up, we're flexible, but I think we're going to go with lineless.
Cool. Can you tell I'm not an artist?
Next question is from Heck Yeah again. What
Hi,
platform
Heck Yeah.
would the series be on?
Say that one more time.
What platform would the series be on?
That is a giant question mark. We haven't gotten to that point yet.
So, yeah, we're gonna sell it straight to Netflix. So this is gonna be kind of where we're gonna need all hands on deck, because I mean, at this point, we live in a day and age where we can do a lot of things with, basically a zero budget. Like, we're very, very fortunate to live in an area where, we can throw things into the internet and have a massive response. That being said, I mean, YouTube is basically our best bet at this point, just because of, how much traffic usually goes there. But we're going to try and work the system.
Yeah, with COPPA, we might. We're flexible.
Other stuff that we're going to have to figure out.
We have no dog in the fight yet.
Yeah. But one of the things that we are going to. Yes.
We would like to have something to show before, we start, nailing
Trying to
down our
throw
platform.
it around. Yeah, because one of the things that.
Something to show before you figure out where to show it.
Yeah. And so the thing that we're going to really try and do is we're going to try and be smart about that, because there's definitely ways where you can kind of not like work the system of the internet, but you can. There's a lot of creators who just like throw things out into the nether of the internet, and it just kind of chills. And we're going to try and play our cards as smartly as we can so that this goes in the direction we want it to.
Yeah. After all, we want to build a studio.
Yeah.
So, but we are open to suggestions. If you have ideas for ways that we can put that out there and help build this into the studio that we're dreaming of, then please suggest it. Each one of you that's here has a great opportunity, because we're just starting fresh right now. How often do you get an opportunity where you can be there at the beginning of something big and possibly, if you ask me, be one of the people that's in the documentaries they make about Banner Media Studios someday? I see that happening. I believe it. If it's going to happen, if I have anything to do about it.
Yeah, so we're going to rely on, when we say that all hands are on deck, we're all going to have to try and scrap our way up through the food chain as much as we can. And it's going to be freaking cool. Let's go.
All right, next question.
All right, next question, Arcane Harbinger, responding to what you're talking about, the kind of interlaced universe. Does this mean that different projects would get crossover events?
We are going to, so there's yes and no. So there's going to be certain things that will be a little bit more obvious than others, but we're going to try and keep it a little bit more sectioned off, just because, I don't know, it can get a little bit distracting and kind of take away from the story that is at hand. And instead of just like trying to soak up the story that somebody's watching, they're like, oh, it's that character from that other thing, and kind of thing. So we're going to err on the side of subtlety often.
Next question from Faust McLean's again.
Attaboy. Ask all the questions.
Wait, sorry, I'm misreading this.
Just kidding.
Fabio Music 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What kind of vibe musically would we be going for?
Go ahead, Drew.
Varied. Oh my goodness. So, okay. There's definitely going to be some things that we're going to have to kind of talk about later, just because of the integral part that music plays in this story.
One thing that we can say is that each character is going to for sure have their own sort of theme song and sort of genre associated with them.
So it's going to be very like a wide range of genres, and being able to accurately represent moods in each of those genres. Let's just get a few more questions, and then we'll kind of let everybody go here, and because we know we're about at that time limit where we said we would get out of here. So let's do a few more questions.
We'll do all the remaining questions that are on there right now. So
Cool.
No more questions on the chat right for now. And if you have anything else, you can contact us on Discord and
Perfect.
and email, whatnot. So We have from Sonder Comics, ever considered Kickstarter for funding in the future? Or Patreon says, heck yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is something that once we have episode 1 done, that's something that we have discussed at length.
The small problem with that is in order for something like Kickstarter to work, you kind of already need an audience. So, and to get an audience, you need to have something to show them. So,
We do already have a Patreon set up, though.
we do.
We haven't made it live, but we have it ready for when we need it.
We do have a Patreon.
Right?
All right, Camilio 1. Will the music be done according to the animation, or will the animation be done according to made to the music?
Yes.
Yes. So if anybody in here knows what AMVs are or likes AMVs, you're going to really like
You're
this
in the
story.
right place.
Austin made a pretty awesome looking AMV. Should
Yes.
probably share it at some point with that.
Yeah, I can share that to
Little bit.
all the people who come in.
You can share it to the Discord.
Yeah, boy.
Hey,
Yeah,
Discord.
All right.
Don't steal it because I'm sending it to a competition.
Okay.
After the competition, then.
I can totally afford.
Okay, and then the final question here from Sonder Comics. Anime-styled opening?
Oh, shoot.
We'll think
I
about
mean,
that. Let's think about
it's in the cards, probably. Just
We're not
because
saying no.
we're all huge anime nerds, so why the freak not? Because it's just great.
Drew all like pictures like Valkyrie like anime running through a field.
The quick pan out.
She's got her hammer.
Awesome. Yeah, so I guess
Yeah, I think that's about it. Do we have any remaining questions from Natasha's going to say something?
Well, what Melannie was going to say, are there any remaining questions from those in the room before we finish? Yes, Jules.
What's the estimated time frame for this? Like how, like you've got a good start on it. What are your goals regarding the timing of creating this?
We'll probably get a better idea of those goals once.
Can we repeat the question a little bit?
Oh yes, Jules was asking what's the estimated time frame for finishing episode 1. My guess is we'll get a better idea of that once we see who's in with us and how we're able to work together. So probably by the end of the year or beginning of next year, we'll have a bit of an estimate of how long that will take.
I think that the default answer to that is as soon as we can reasonably do it. Like, we want to get the ball rolling on this more than it is already, which is why we're having this meeting and why you all wonderful people are here. We want to make this happen.
Yeah. Alrighty, since we are finishing the meeting, oh, yes.
Oh, sorry. This is kind of at the risk of being a little on the philosophical side. That's not what I'm after. But sorry, what was your Drew? Right?
Yeah.
When you talk about the idea of beginning this Banner Media Studios, you said you were lamenting about the kind of poor, stale, or lackluster. You see it on the internet.
absolutely.
I'm curious what your thoughts are on how Banner Media would avoid that.
Great question. We'll figure that out as we go. So
Yeah.
one of the things
Maybe what you think causes that. Might be better.
I think there's multiple factors that cause that. I think one of the we'll get to you. I think a lot of the things that I see in how production companies work nowadays is that they're a little bit more focused about driving out a product than a good story. And I mean, the thing is I mean, we're gonna suck at the beginning. Like we're all unprofessional, you know. Like we're doing our best, but we're gonna do our best. And I mean, as far as like, can we guarantee a product that, you know, is 100% the opposite of, you know, what we're seeing out in the world? Who knows? But we're going to do our best.
So, I think part of, as you're saying, part of what adds to the stale writing that is a lot of the time is I feel like there are a lot of people out there who are just rushed to put a product out, kind of how Drew said. And I think that in a way, the fact that we are as small as we are does have a little bit of a benefit in that, is that like we don't have a hard timeline right now. We don't have We don't have like, this has to be done now, and whatever product we have at this point, we're just going to put it out. You know, we have a little bit of time to, you know, think things over. But at the same time, we don't want to do that too much because then we'll never get anywhere. Anyway.
So when this is just like one of my first thoughts, that when it comes to this kind of topic of if we're going to have values, how do we stick with them as things go on? Because it's honestly a topic I'm really passionate about in animation in general. Like it happens everywhere, but where things may start small, but they pick up, or it's, for example, like these big businesses, they'll have the final say, where there might have originally been like some really good motives behind it, and then people jump in, and it's also a lot of the big corporations and things like that are in charge will be like, well, what are the kids into these days? You know, oh, they really like the edginess and the bad stuff, so let's just cram that in there and get it in there as much as we can because it makes us money. We're here because we want to, obviously, we all need money. It's obvious. You need it, but we're not doing that. I feel like for myself, I'm not doing this because it's about like, I don't want to go to my 9-to-5 job for the rest of my life hating what I'm doing. I want to draw, like for me. Yeah.
Please no. I don't want to work in clothing for the rest of my life.
I mean, GameStop is awesome right now, but it's pretty dope. I'm trying to be manager. It's like, it's, you know, we all have the passion that we want to do, but it's, if things do pick up, like it's us working together we have standards and we're going to keep them as we go, depending on what you want and stuff like that. So, yeah.
My word on this. You can see we're all very excited about this.
This is our shtick right here.
This.
Okay.
So this desire to combat the problems that we see in modern media is exactly why I joined Banner. I saw a flyer that said two things. One, do you want to draw anime? And I was like, I like drawing anime. And two, are you sick of seeing a medium so beautiful filled with something so vile? And that's something I've been very passionate about for a long time. I am an artist and a storyteller, and I believe that amazing, epic, awesome stories can be told without doing what Austin said, filling it with crap. Look at Avatar: The Last Airbender. Look at Star Wars and Lord of the Rings. Amazing stories told that everyone can enjoy. Stories that you're okay watching with both your parents, your grandparents, and 5-year-old kids. They're stories that have lasted a lifetime, and the ones that we pass on to future generations. These are the ones that we remember. The way we're going to avoid doing this kind of thing is that because this is the foundation upon which Banner Media Studios is built to combat that. And that's how we're going to avoid it, because that is our purpose.
All right. I think that we can say one more question from the audience. Nope. All right, we're going to close out. Thank you so much for being involved, whether it's via stream or in person. We're very grateful, and get back to us in a week. All right.
Thank you, everybody.
Woo!
But yeah, Willie has the emails up for those of you who are streaming, and for those of you who are here, make sure you've written down the email of your head of state or heads of state. We hope to hear from you within the week, and thank you so much for joining us. You guys are amazing. Let's have a round of applause for everyone who's been here. For those of you who have decided that this isn't right for you or it's not your time, we wish you the best. But for those of you who have decided that you want to be a part of this, welcome to Banner Media Studios. See ya.
Thanks, everybody.
We'll be posting